The purpose of this video is to help you as a guest presenter of Building Strength webinars know how to log in to the administrative account so that you can conduct a live broadcast. On this screen you see the address that you will type into your internet browser, vmdirect.com. And once you're on that page, in the upper right-hand corner, there will be a login box. And on the screen here, you see the login information and the password. I'm going to go ahead and take you to that page so that you can see what it looks like. Once you've gone to the VM Direct website or the ComF5 website, you'll see here in the upper right-hand corner is the box where you will type in the username and password that we gave you, and here's where you'll type that in. Let me show you again what that is. In case you need it, there is the username, and you'll also see the password, the login and the password. It might actually be helpful if you have two windows open. That might be a helpful thing to do as well. Okay, so back to where we'll put in our username and password. I'm going to log in. Oops, I typed in something incorrect. Let me do that again. Okay, pretty bad when you can't remember your own password. Anyhow, once you log in, it automatically drops you into our mailbox, so just ignore all of that. Where you are going to need to focus is over here where it says Media F5. There's folders, tags, applets. Under applets, Media F5. So you will choose that, and a new window will open up. When the new window opens up, this is what it will look like. The first thing you'll want to notice is that on this top row, there are 5 different buttons. You'll click on the last one called Live F5. And then you'll want to be sure that on the second row of buttons, the one that's selected is Home. And then you will, you're going to have to choose 2 things. One, a profile name and a broadcast name. Once your broadcast is actually scheduled, you will see your name here and you'll see your title here. If you happen to be doing this a practice session before the fact, you can just practice using the default and the on-demand. But again, when it's the actual time for your presentation, you'll choose on whatever your name is and your title. But I'm going to show you what it looks like if you choose default and on-demand. And then you click on Go Live and Go Live Standard. Okay, let me just walk through those steps again quickly. Default, On Demand, Go Live Standard. At this point, you're going to have a box that will pop up asking if you want to allow or deny the camera and microphone. As soon as you click Allow, it is going to show you over here on the video screen. Okay, so I click Allow. All right, and then at that point now you can see me here over on the camera. It says On Deck, which means that's what you can do. It says Getting ready prior to going live. So this is where you can be sure everything is set up the way you want it to be. So at this point, nobody can see you live yet. You're still what's called on deck. So I'm going to point out a couple of things once you are in this mode. The first one is there are a couple of tabs over here. The only ones you'll need to do anything with would be the chat and the share. The first one, chat, we do want to enable chat. That allows people to type questions to you and interact with you. And we want it to have Q&A be the one that's selected. This makes it so the messages are only seen by you and not by everybody else that is attending. Okay, so be sure chat is enabled and Q&A. The next tab says share, and this is where we will have uploaded your PowerPoint presentation for you, but I made one called presenter's name, so you'll look for your name, and this is important. You have to click on the arrow beside the folder. If you just click on the folder itself, nothing happens. You have to click on the arrow beside the folder, and then you will find your presentation, whatever the title of your topic is most likely what it will be called. And then as soon as you select it, your slides will load down here. I just put some sample slides in just for practicing's sake. A couple of other things I want to point out here in this interface. First, right here there are something called annotation tools. These are really fun. See, the first one is a highlighting tool, and you can adjust the transparency, but it allows you to highlight things on your presentation. If you want to change things once it's on the screen, if you select it again, it turns blue. Now I can actually change the transparency level of it if I should want to do that for some reason. Another tool that a lot of our presenters really like is the arrow tool. And a couple of things about that to point out: you can change the transparency of it as well. You can change the size of it, that's important. But a really fun part is you can also change the color. It can be any color you want. Red's a great color, so you can do title of your presentation, and you can use multiple arrows if you would like. Again, if you click on it, and you could change the size of it on the fly. After you, if you for some reason you want to clear the tools that are on that page, if you click the X, it just clears everything that's there. And again, you can just put them there again however you want. There are also a couple other things. There's a text box and some other circles and squares, but don't worry about those too much. But feel free to play around with them. Let's see. The other thing I want to point out here is that there is the ability to mute your mic or to mute your, it's called disabling your video. So if you wanted to mute your audio for some reason, if you just click on that, it tells you, your audio is muted. Click it again, it comes back. Another thing you may want to do would be to make it go to audio only instead of having it also be video. There could be times when, during your presentation, you want all of the focus over here on the slide and you don't want to be on video anymore for some reason. That's okay. People really seem to like having the presenter there. That's one of the benefits of this system that we are really enjoying. But just so you know, you do have those options. Another thing that will be important to know is how to advance your slides during the slideshow. So let me show you how to do that. A couple of different ways. It will come up automatically with your first slide. You can either click on the slides themselves to advance them if you just have a few, or you can use the arrow tools. Those work. That will take you back to the beginning. That takes you to the end, and this just moves backwards and forwards through the presentation. So whichever is your preference will be fine. Okay, so those are pretty much the things that you need to know to do a live broadcast. It's actually pretty simple, especially when you start playing around with it. All right, so I want to show you now what it looks like on the front side from somebody who is watching you. So we need to go live, and I need to show you how to record. So simple, be sure to click Start Broadcast. You have a countdown, and then you'll know you're live when it says live. So right now everybody is seeing us. We're not recording yet, but everybody is seeing us. And this is a really good time to say, welcome, I'm glad you're here. You'll notice there's a chat box. Please introduce yourself so I know that you're here. And they'll say, hi Joe, this is John, or whatever. And so it's kind of fun just to interact with them. And also, it allows you to find out if everybody's hearing you and seeing you. That's always a good question to ask. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? And then when you start seeing people say yes, 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 that just gives you the extra confidence you need to hit record. Okay, so once you're ready to actually record, click the record button. And you'll know you're recording because the light will be flashing. So during your presentation, you should see the live and you should see this flashing. Currently, we're still in the share mode. In order to see the chat messages, you'll actually have to have it on chat mode, but I'm not going to change it. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't do that, what will happen. All right, so let me show you what it looks like from somebody who is watching this broadcast live. Okay, here we are on the web page, and one of the things that we will be able to do is have where it says live broadcast, we can put in a custom image there that people will see. And once you are live on the air, this will change from a red or yellow waiting kind of a message to the actual click to join. So we're going to click to join. Okay, now you're seeing the live broadcast with me, and I've got to take my microphone out of my speaker out of my ear, otherwise I'm hearing myself twice. Okay, so this is what it looks like from somebody who is joining it. And again, you can see here where you can type in a question. So I'm going to just say hi. And the first time that somebody sends a message, they have to say who they are. All right, so I'll type that in, the submit. All right, and then now I can see my message that I sent to the host, and when they answer me, it comes up, and we are the only ones that see this. A couple of quick things to point out in this live presentation. Let me go ahead and resize it a little bit. It's taking up more of the screen here. That'll be better. There are a couple of places where we can customize things. There are two spots for banners, one here and one here. We can make those look however we want, and what is really neat is those banners will be clickable. There aren't any here, so that's not the case, but we could link to any website that we want. And what's nice is even on the recording, those banners remain and the links remain. So they're interactive, both live and on the recording. So this is what it looks like to somebody who is watching the presentation. So let's go back to the back side, or the administrative side. Okay, I intentionally had not shifted to the chat tab so that you would see this. If you are on any of the other tabs and somebody sends a chat message and you click on it, then it notifies you that you have a new message. So if you're wanting to interact with people and you think you may not be paying attention if a new message should come in, I guess you could intentionally have it on one of the other ones, and then when a new message came in, you would know it. But most of our presenters just leave it on the chat mode. So let's see what else I need to point out to you here. When the broadcast is finished, you will do two things. First, you're going to click on Stop Recording. First, we're going to stop the recording. And then the last thing is we're going to stop the broadcast. Because this is streaming over the internet, there is a slight delay in timing. Most people don't even notice that because they wouldn't know if they were hearing it 5 seconds after you were saying it. It becomes pretty irrelevant, except for stopping the broadcast. One of the things that we have noticed is that when you're done talking, you really need to maybe count to 5 to yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, after you've said your last words, and then click Stop Broadcast. A couple of times when we haven't done that, we've had a few people's last couple of words be chopped off. And I mean, you do a great presentation, why chop off the last couple of words? Worst case, people will just see you sitting there smiling for a couple of seconds, no harm done. So err on the side of having a couple extra seconds of silence at the end. So when we're finished, we'll click Stop Broadcast. And then this is very important. In order for the recording to be saved, you actually have to choose where you're going to save it and click Save. So you will save it in the folder that has your name, and you can give it whatever name you want. I'm just going to call this Test. And then you'll click Save. At this point, you're going to see something that looks like a little clock, and that tells you that it is saving. Do not close your internet browser. Do not turn off your computer. Don't do anything until you see this message that says your broadcast was saved successfully. It happens very quickly. If your presentation is lengthy, it could take a minute or two, but again, it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So once it says that it's saved successfully, we'll say OK. Once the broadcast ends and archives in our system, we will have a link to that broadcasting that we can share with you and share with others. I do want to just show you quickly, though, what amazing quality the recordings have. That is why we have personally shifted to this system, because we've just loved the quality of it. This is what a recording would look like. You can see how crystal clear the slides are, which is absolutely wonderful. And then for somebody to see the video part, I've just clicked for that to start. So again, we're not hearing any sound because I'm recording this through another system, but you can see the video over here. If somebody should choose to, these little buttons, they can actually increase the size of the video. Ooh, that's a little scary. I think we'll go back to small. Anyhow, this is where the messages were, but they're blocked out for the recording, which is nice. So let's see if there was anything else I need to show you here. Yeah, so that's what the recording looks like. So as we wrap this up, I'll just go back to the initial page that had the login address of the website and our login information. This will actually say username instead of login, but that's not a big deal. And there is a Word document that accompanies this, and pretty much everything I've just shown you and said to you is also written in text format that you can use as a reference. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. And we're just, again, we appreciate you being willing to be a guest presenter for us and look forward to your presentation. Thank you.